Hello, I'm Nick Wolf.
I'm Garrett Flora.
And I'm Will Zandler. In this video, we're going to discuss the evolution of gaming in North America. We're going to explain how the triple revolution has enabled the transition from early physical games to board games and digital games, which are often online and mobile. Lastly, we'll explain how the design choices in hardware and software have fostered networked individualism. To begin, we should define the term game. In the article Games and Culture, Robert, Arth, and Bush define games as organized play with competition and two or more sides, agreed upon rules, and criteria for determining the winner. They also state that the games fit under three classifications: physical, strategy, and chance.
Games have been a part of human society for millennia. The game Senet is one of the more well-known games in Egyptian history. According to the article Ancient Egyptians at Play, archaeologists have found parts of Senet board games dating back as far as the First Dynasty, which is around 3100 BCE. Moving to East Asia, the game Go originated in China more than 2500 years ago, though the current version of the game was formalized in Japan in the 15th century. In India, the predecessor to modern chess was created somewhere between 280 and 550 CE. The version of chess you know today was formalized in Southern Europe between 1200 and 1700 CE.
Games never went away, and in the 19th century we saw an expansion of marketed board games. Parcheesi became the first copyrighted game in 1869, and hits like Monopoly and Yahtzee came in 1935 and 56. They grew into popularity, and families and close friends would gather around to play these games, creating tight-knit bonds. The Triple Revolution dramatically changed how games were played. And a fun fact, Battleship was based on a game played by Russian naval officers.
While the earliest electronic game, Birdie the Brain, was created in 1950 as a demonstration of a new vacuum tube computing technology, it is the arcade game Pong that first introduced society to electronic video games in 1972. The first blockbuster arcade game was Space Invaders, which arrived in 1978.
The earliest home video game consoles came in the form of the Magnavox Odyssey in 1972 and Home Pong in 1975. However, it was consoles like the Atari 2600 in 1977 and the NES in the mid-1980s that popularized home video games and enabled two people to game together side by side. When the Nintendo 64 arrived in 1996, it allowed even more people to engage in the action with the introduction of local four-player play. As the game room moved from the arcade to the living room, people were able to exercise more selective power over who they gamed with. The next big move in gaming was from the living room to the internet. Some of the first online games were released for the personal computer just before the start of the new millennium. StarCraft in 1998 and Counter-Strike in 1999, to name a couple. In the coming years, efforts to popularize online console gaming failed, largely because of slow networking hardware. Sega opened SegaNet, an online gaming network for the Sega Dreamcast console in 2000, but SegaNet ultimately failed because the Dreamcast only support a slow, dial-up internet connection. Online video gaming really hit the mainstream in 2002 when Microsoft rolled out Xbox Live. Microsoft's success with Xbox Live is due to their engineering foresight. Microsoft recognized the limitations of dial-up and designed the original Xbox console so that it could only connect to the internet via a broadband connection. Let's take a second to remember the state of internet adoption at the time the Xbox console was launched in late 2001. According to the Pew Internet surveys, less than 10% of Americans had access to a broadband connection. Shipping a console with technology that a vast majority of Americans couldn't use was a bold move on Microsoft's part. They got flack from critics, but ultimately this decision allowed them to build a fully featured online gaming platform that wasn't restricted by slow internet speeds. As broadband became widely adopted, gamers found a rich online ecosystem waiting for them in Xbox Live.
Thanks to the internet, thousands of potential strangers can come together in MMORPGs, online shooters, and other games to play together. Physical distance is no longer an issue, and often networked individuals join together with strangers and acquaintances to form in-game groups where they benefit from the presence of each other's help. These interactions build community and help develop thriving and constantly shifting social networks in-game.
The introduction of the Game Boy in 1989 allowed people to game on the go in a more intimate single-player fashion. Mobile gaming was further influenced by the internet revolution when the Nintendo DS came equipped with the capacity to game online over Wi-Fi. Today, thanks to the mobile revolution, the popularity of mobile gaming and the selection of mobile games has exploded since the introduction of the iPhone in 2007. Augmented reality gaming has expanded the mobile gaming concept, enabling networked individuals to bring digital gaming into the physical world. Games including Ingress, geocaching, and Pokemon Go allow thousands of strangers to interact both synchronously and asynchronously with strangers, weak ties, and strong ties alike.